a gentle touchdown in your backyard.
I love it. I mean, to be a kid in this day and age, and even an educator, is amazing. My dad is a retired public school teacher, and STEAM resources were just so limited when he was in the classroom. I think he's a little jealous of what's available these days. I know I am.
I am too.
Kids are getting to launch their own missions.
It really is an exciting time. And what's also cool is with each model rocket comes a Club for the Future postcard you can send to space and back on the real New Shepard. And of course, they're shipping in time for the holiday season. So go check it out at the Blue Origin shop. I can't wait to get mine. And I know Club is very busy, so there's another initiative Club is involved with that's about to roll out with several leading STEM education partners, right, Kaya?
Yeah, that's right, Jackie. One program that's about to launch is called Project Janos. Thanks to a one-year grant from the NASA Office of STEM Education, the Project Janos team, including the Aldrin Family Foundation, Explorer at Large, Public Consulting Group, the University of Kansas, and our own Club for the Future, have been working together to create a series of immersive classroom-based experiences for 5th through 8th graders to become explorers of space themselves.
Yes, and if Club isn't already doing enough, I have to mention that the team is also starting to work with each of the 19 nonprofits that were recently selected to receive $1 million grants from Club to expand their STEM programs, create new ones, all for the mission of inspiring that next generation to invent the future of life in space. Keep an eye on this and all of the initiatives from Club. The minutes are ticking down here to New Shepard's 17th flight. Kaya, can you take us through today's flight profile?
Let's do it. So the rocket is sitting on the pad right now, full of payloads that are sitting inside the capsule. As soon as the rocket lifts off, it'll hit about 75 kilometers where that spring-loaded system will separate the capsule from the booster. The capsule will continue up over the Kármán line, which is 100 kilometers up. And the booster is actually more aerodynamic than the capsule, so it's going to come down faster than the capsule. And right before it lands, it's going to reignite the BE-3 engine and come down for a nice soft landing on the pad. Now, as the capsule is getting that microgravity time, it's going to start to slow itself down. It's not as aerodynamic. It's got some more drag. It's going to send up some drogue chutes, and then that's going to slow the capsule down, and then 3 big, beautiful chutes will appear where the capsule glides down slowly to the ground with a thruster system that will then give that nice cushiony landing. Now, the most important part is as that booster's coming down, it's got the LiDAR sensors on it, and that's really simulating a lunar landing, and so they're getting a lot of information as the booster comes down. It's really when those sensors get to go to work. So can't wait to see after today's flight the new information that they're going to get off of those sensors.
Me too, and I'm so excited to see that flight profile live in action here shortly. New Shepard operational payload mission, New Shepard 17 with NASA's lunar landing sensors, so much from Club for the Future, and a number of other really critical science and research. Well, it is nearly showtime here. We're getting ready to hand it over to New Shepard as she starts to come alive for launch. New Shepard is fully autonomous, so in a couple seconds here, the rocket is going to go through a series of final subsystem checks. Let's wait for that and look, but also listen. There you see those aft fin checks, the fins at the base of the booster that help direct the vehicle on ascent and descent. We have just entered a brief hold. But there you can also see that BE3 engine nozzle gimbaling at the bottom of your screen. That BE3 is moving to help maneuver the rocket and ensure a free range of motion. At this point, we're also pressurizing our tanks, so we're keeping an eye on pressure and temperature in those propellant tanks. Both will, of course, need to stay in the green zone for today's mission. If you're just joining us, we are in a brief hold here, but we are at T-minus 1 minute and 15 seconds until New Shepard's 17th mission to space. I love looking through those windows and seeing all the science and research inside. We are still in a brief hold here at T-minus 1 minute and 15 seconds until New Shepard's 17th mission to space. We'll keep you updated here shortly. The team is currently dealing with a payload readiness issue. We just spoke with Mission Control. We're in a continued hold at T-minus 1 minute and 15 seconds here at New Shepard's 17th flight to space. So just be patient with us here until we release the hold. Thank you all for joining us today for NS-17. As you can see, we have reset the clock to 10 minutes as the team works to address the payload issue, but we are still in a hold, so we'll check back with you soon. Thank you all for your patience as we make sure our customer payloads are ready for today's mission. Thank you for joining us for NS-17. This hold should end shortly. The count has resumed for New Shepard's 17th mission to space, full of payloads today. So excited for this science and research. While the clock continues, let's talk about the main priority on every New Shepard mission, be it payloads or people, and that's safety.
Human safety is fundamental to design, but especially the crew capsule.
The capsule is the most highly redundant and safe space flight system that has ever been designed or flown. We have redundancy that if the system fails, you have a backup system, and in most cases, you have a backup to the backup system. The capsule is designed to be safe. Only 2 of the main parachutes open, and so we wanted to test that in real life on M5, and it worked perfectly. Now, if the capsule is going down way too fast, the retro rocket actually compensates by adjusting the amount of thrust. Our 3rd and 4th safety systems engage, which is a crushable section. Then the seats have a scissor mechanism that has further energy absorption. The capsule has an escape system designed in case there is something wrong detected on the propulsion module to get the astronauts away to safety.
From the moment that we close the hatch, we can go escape enabled and have very high confidence that we can keep people safe.
The overall mission of Blue Origin has remained completely the same. We are here to safely build the road to space.
We're at just under T-minus 8 minutes here for New Shepard's 17th mission. We just saw that great video on the importance of safety. Kaya, I know as a pilot, safety is your #1 priority in the plane. So can you tell us a little bit about that from your experience?
Sure. I mean, with New Shepard, it really comes down to the design, and so much redundancy has been built into New Shepard. She's a fully autonomous vehicle, so folks like me, we don't have to fly the rocket, which is really nice. But it's all about the autonomy and the redundancy. And as Gary Lay mentioned in the video, he said there's a backup to the backup. And that's really what redundancy is all about. The safety methods that were built in, if something fails, there's a backup system that would kick in, and sometimes a backup to the backup to the backup, which is a great design. And it's a autonomous design, and it's a safe design, and that's kind of what puts all my confidence. If I'm not flying a vehicle, I at least want to know that there's redundancy built in and it's a safe vehicle. So I'm ready to fly.
Well, thanks, Kai. And let's take a look at that safe design out on the pad as she prepares for launch shortly. As we wait for liftoff of New Shepard here in just about 4 minutes, let's talk about the history of the New Shepard program across all 16 previous flights, the why and the how of what we do, and it is all about safety.
For New Shepard, we've been following an aggressive step-by-step approach from the beginning. The first time we flew New Shepard, we demonstrated every single aspect, re-entry, parachute deployment, and that mission was 100% successful for the capsule. M2 was about rolling in changes and trying it again. This time we stuck the landing, but we needed to show we could do it again. So that was what M3 was. For M4, we pushed the envelope, lighting the engine just seconds before it would impact the ground, and we perfected it at that time. In M5, we intentionally did not deploy one of the main parachutes, and it worked perfectly. We had done a pad escape test that the capsule can launch and escape if there is an accident on the pad. The M6 mission was about testing that at its most stressing condition. We ignited the solid rocket motor in flight and showed that we can recover the capsule safely. For M7, what we introduced was a new capsule design. M8 was just a repeat, and then the third escape test was to show that we could escape in space. So on M9, the capsule lit off its solid rocket motor and landed safely. M9 and M13, we are flying payload missions for customers, giving us even more and more confidence in the capability of the New Shepard system. 13 was a perfect flight, preparing for the M14 mission, another verification and check. We're ready for first human flight.
Love revisiting New Shepard's really impressive flight history. Also love seeing Mannequin Skywalker in there for a couple missions. We are 2 minutes away from launch here. Let's hand it over to New Shepard as she sits on the pad and take a look. Here we are, T-minus 1 minute until launch. And here we are at launch. It's finally time. Let's hand it over to Mission Control. Godspeed, New Shepard, and best of luck to our payload customers on board.
T-minus 16 seconds, guidance internal. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1, 0.
Liftoff from West Texas. Mission Control has confirmed New Shepard has cleared the tower on her way to space from the West Texas desert. carrying lunar lander technology, as well as New Shepard's first ever art installation. You can see on your screen we're gaining speed as New Shepard lifts off towards space. In about 10 seconds here, we'll be coming up on max Q, which is the toughest point of flight for the vehicle itself. Look at her go. And we have successfully punched through max Q, where the aerodynamic stresses on the vehicle were at the maximum. Such a beautiful, clean burn on that BE-3 engine, and you see the West Texas desert disappearing away. As you can see on your screen, that altitude monitor and that velocity are on the bottom. She is really picking up speed on her way to space. Keep an eye out shortly for that main engine cutoff, where we'll cut off that BE-3 engine. New Shepard is now coasting at over 1,700 miles per hour. And there we have it, main engine cutoff. New Shepard is at 2,000 miles per hour, and those experiments are just seconds away from getting their several minutes of microgravity and performing their research. There is that 0G indicator on the screen. Shortly, you'll start to see those two distinct crafts as the booster starts heading back towards Earth, and those experiments in the capsule start performing their science. At this point in flight, if there were humans flying in that capsule, they'd be getting up out of their seats, floating around. I know I can't wait for that, and Kaya definitely can't wait for that. And super importantly for today, those payloads on board are experiencing 3 to 4 minutes of clean microgravity. Science is collecting its data, and that booster with its NASA lunar landing sensors are getting ready to come back for a precision landing in the West Texas desert. Well, we just received confirmation of apogee for the crew capsule. That apogee is over that Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space, and that's the highest point the crew capsule will travel today. You can now see that booster is headed back from space for the 8th time, and those lunar landing sensors are really going to work at this point as the booster makes its way back to the pad for a precise landing in West Texas. Shortly, the booster itself is going to reach its atmospheric pierce point, and what that means is it's when the rocket is returning from space and re-entering that atmosphere. So those fins and those control surfaces on the fins will start to have air pressure push against them. Those wedge and ring fins are really going to work here, really important parts of the new Shepard design as that booster makes its way back to the landing pad, which is just 2 miles north of where that vehicle took off. You can see those two beautiful, distinct crafts in the middle of your screen. That West Texas desert starting to come into focus here on the right side of your screen. Those drag brakes will be deploying shortly. As we discussed, the booster will be reaching its maximum re-entry velocity soon, which is just under Mach 4. That booster shape causes a lot less drag than the crew capsule, so the booster will win this race back to Earth. There go those drag brakes. This is a critical step in slowing the booster down on its approach. You see this velocity decreasing quite rapidly on the left side of your screen. Those in West Texas are now hearing that sonic boom. New Shepard is on approach. That BE-3 engine relight confirmed. Landing gear deployed. That beautiful hover. And booster touchdown, look at that, just like she was landing on the moon. Hopefully those NASA landing sensors got some incredible data today. I have to tell you, I'm often asked if that is slow-mo or CGI. It definitely is not, I can assure you that. Look at her there on the pad after her 8th trip to space for that booster.
It just never gets old, Jackie. It's such a beautiful flight.
We have reacquired the crew capsule there in the middle of your screen. Shortly, those initial drogue parachutes will deploy, which slow down the capsule on its return. So excited to see those experiments in there on their way back. There go the drogues. That capsule speed will slow, and the main parachutes will follow shortly here. And there go the mains, further slowing the crew capsule here on its way back to the West Texas desert. They'll start to completely inflate here, and that West Texas landscape will come into the view in your background. You can see how substantially that velocity of the capsule has slowed at this point. Do keep in mind as we approach the desert here, that West Texas dust does kick up a lot. Oh my gosh, you can see that beautiful capsule with the landed booster in the background there. Our retro thrust system in the base of the crew capsule will kick up a tremendous amount of dust as it fires for that nice soft landing. Rest assured, the payloads will enjoy quite a soft touchdown in just a few seconds here. That shot is incredible. "200 feet from the surface. And touchdown of the crew capsule. Another beautiful launch and landing for New Shepard. Huge, enormous congratulations to Team Blue. Congratulations to our friends at NASA, especially in the flight opportunities and tipping point programs. And congrats to all of the customers who flew with us today.
Just another beautiful flight. I cannot wait to see our next crew flight as well, coming up really soon. So everything looks to have gone so well. Let's take a look at some of the unofficial stats. And those stats are still coming in, so bear with us just a minute. Here they are. All right, so our maximum ascent velocity, we went to 2,229 miles per hour. Our crew capsule apogee, the highest point that it reached was 347,430 feet. Our mission start time was at 9:31 a.m. Central Time. Thanks everyone for the patience on the holds, but as you can see, it always pays off. And our mission elapsed time was 10 minutes and 38 seconds.
What an exciting 17th launch of New Shepard today. If today inspired you, which we really hope it did, we encourage you to join our growing team here at Blue Origin. I can tell you, I've been at Blue for just under 5 years, and it is a really special place to work. Check our website for openings on the careers page.
We cannot wait to see you one day at a Blue site near us. And until then, Jackie, thank you so much. This was such a cool experience, beautiful flight. Today was such a celebration of the payloads. And as we mentioned, we have another human flight coming soon. So again, if you're interested in purchasing a ticket to fly on New Shepard, please visit blueorigin.com, click on the link Fly to Space, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Kaya. It was so great teaming up with you today. Can't wait to team up in the crew capsule someday for our own mission. That's all from us here. Please follow Blue Origin's social and website for launch updates and what's next. Until our next launch, Gradatum Ferociter.